This is not a full 3x3 Rubik's Cube tutorial. Instead, it is intended for solvers that use the layer-by-layer beginner's method and would like to try an easy-to-learn method that solves the first two layers faster and more efficiently. The first step of the Edges First Keyhole method is the same as the layer-by-layer method. You need to properly solve a cross on one side of the cube. In these demonstrations I will start by solving the white cross. The scramble and cross solution notation for each example will appear on the screen so that you can follow along with your own cube if you'd like. After solving the cross, the next step is to solve 3 of the 4 middle layer edges. This is accomplished by aligning the top color of an edge piece in the top layer with one of the middle layer centers. Here we align the orange from the top of the edge piece in the top layer with the orange center. Because the second color of the edge piece is green, we rotate the green face, move the orange-green edge to align with the green center, and rotate the green face back to its original position to correctly place the orange-green edge. Here we align the blue from the top of the edge piece in the top layer with the blue center. Because the second color of the edge piece is red, we rotate the red face, move the blue-red edge to align with the red center, and rotate the red face back to its original position to correctly place the blue-red edge. However, because the green-red edge is already in the middle layer with red aligned with a red center, we have an opportunity to insert the green-red edge immediately after the blue-red edge. Now that we have correctly placed 3 middle layer edges, we can orient the cube so that the unsolved middle layer edge is on the right and closest to us. This will be our keyhole for inserting the first layer corners. If you happen to solve all 4 middle layer edges in the previous step, just pick any middle layer edge to be your keyhole. We can now solve the first layer's corners similar to the way we would in the layer-by-layer method. However, we will only be rotating the bottom layer when we are looking where our corners need to be solved. Here the orange, blue and white corner goes between the first layer's orange and blue edge pieces. A helpful tip for when the corner you want to solve is in the top right and white is facing to the right, you only need to match the corner's front-facing color with the color of the first layer's edge that is on the front. In this case orange is the front-facing color of the corner we want to solve, so we want the front-facing edge in the first layer to be orange. Another tip for when the corner you want to solve is in the top left and white is facing to the left, you only need to match the corner's front-facing color with the color of the first layer edge that is on the right. In this case red is the front-facing color of the corner we want to solve, so we want the right-facing edge in the first layer to be red. This case matches the previous case. The corner we want to solve is in the top left with white facing left. Since green is the front-facing color, we want the first layer's green edge to be on the right. Once you have solved 3 middle layer edges and 3 first layer corners, you can solve the final corner and edge pieces like you would in the layer-by-layer method. Or you can attempt to solve the final corner edge pair more efficiently, which will become much easier the more you practice. Occasionally during the middle layer edge insertion phase of the solve, you may have a scenario where 3 edges are not correctly placed in the middle layer, but none of the edges in the top layer belong in the middle layer. In this case, use any of the edges in the top layer to displace any incorrectly placed middle layer edge. Then you will be able to correctly insert the displaced edge back into the middle layer. After solving the cross of this scramble, one of the middle layer edges is already solved. Therefore we only need to solve 2 more edges before moving on to corners. Another advantage of the Edges First Keyhole method is the ability to easily insert middle layer edges into the back of the cube if you're familiar with the concept of the cube's opposite colors. This helps eliminate unnecessary cube rotations. Here because orange is the opposite of red, we can easily insert the orange-green edge between the orange and green centers in the back of the cube. If you are certain that the first layer's edge pieces are correctly solved in relation to one another, it is not necessary to align the cross afterwards. Here I can begin solving middle layer edges because I know that the cross would align with the middle layer centers if I took the time to align them. After inserting a middle layer edge into its correct position, it is sometimes possible to figure out where the displaced edge should go and insert it without having to rotate the cube. We saw an example of this in the first solution. This case is similar to the scenario in a previous example. Because orange is opposite of red, we can correctly insert the orange-green edge from the red side of the cube. Here we may also be able to immediately insert the edge piece that will be displaced by the orange-green edge. When the side of the edge to be displaced is the same color or opposite color of the center, we will be able to immediately insert that edge into the middle layer without having to rotate the cube, as long as its second color does not match the top center. Because blue is opposite of green, we should pay attention to the color that ends up on the top of the back edge after we insert the orange-green edge. Because the color on the top of the back edge piece is orange, we can immediately insert that edge between the blue and orange centers without rotating the cube. Noticing if an edge that is to be displaced is the same or opposite color as a side center takes practice, but it can ultimately save cube rotations, which can ultimately save time. Some of the tips in this video may take some practice to understand and master. However, I strongly believe that anyone that is able to solve the cube with a layer-by-layer method can easily learn the Edges First Keyhole method and quickly improve on their solve times. I hope someone finds this video useful. If you are a layer-by-layer solver and you were able to learn the Edges First Keyhole method from this video, please leave a comment and let me know how much you were able to improve your average. Take care.